Don't sell your future for election money, SDP candidate warns voters. As political activities gather momentum ahead of the 2027 general elections, issues of leadership, security, qualifications, and voters' responsibility are increasingly dominating the political discourse. In an interview with Rulers World Television News, the Social Democratic Party SDP governorship candidate in Oyo State, Mogaji Olusegun Abiodun Agboola, shared his views on some of the issues shaping Nigeria's political landscape, including the controversy over academic qualifications, security, and the conduct of elections. On the growing call for political candidates to make their academic certificates available, particularly following Peter Obi's recent position on the issue, Agboola said he supports transparency and accountability in the presentation of academic credentials. He condemned the forgery and manipulation of certificates, saying anyone found guilty of falsifying academic qualification should face the full weight of the law.
Clearly, anyone that manipulates that credentials should be thoroughly investigated, prosecuted, and possibly jailed for falsification of documents. It should not be encouraged whatsoever. I am fully behind any initiative that goes through everybody's certificates, authenticates them, and certifies that, yes, these people are qualified. And as to whether that qualification now is necessary for performance, is a completely different topic. But if it is the guidelines of INEC that certain level of qualifications are required, there's a lot of thoughts behind that standard. And I think everybody should submit to that standard. If we all think that standard is not good, then we can all petition to have it changed. But if it is there, it means it is good. And everyone must comply with that standard.
On security, the SDP candidate backed the establishment of state police, arguing that a centralized security structure may not always respond quickly enough to security threats at the grassroots. He advocated a multi-level security arrangement involving the federal government, state government, and local authorities, with properly trained and equipped local security marshals operating closer to the people. According to him, local residents understand the terrain, people, and peculiar security challenges of their communities better, making community-based intelligence vital to effective policing.
I'm fully in support of state police. I'm even more in support of local government security operatives also. Because you see, you can never know an area better than the locals, right? The federal government has 36 states and the federal capital to look after. I'm not certain that they can adequately resource for the entire 36 states and the federal capital. But there's a role for them to play in security, no doubt. And they should work in tandem with state police and local government marshals, if I can use that word, as a security operative. Only locals know their area. A governor in Ibadan cannot know what's happening in Orire. Let us be sincere. A governor in Ibadan cannot know anything about Igboho unless someone in Igboho comes to tell him, we will take you around our place. We know where the locals are. We know where all the foreigners come through. They would have to need the locals to inform them before they can do anything. And security is always local.
Agboola also questioned the wisdom of relying heavily on conventional aircraft for security surveillance when modern technologies such as drones and surveillance cameras are increasingly available. He argued that drones could provide faster and more flexible surveillance while reducing some of the cost and bureaucratic procedure associated with aircraft operations, including aircraft maintenance, pilot requirements, and necessary flight clearance. He maintained that modern surveillance technology could enhance the speed of intelligence gathering and response, particularly during security emergencies.
Bọ́bá lọ ra bàálù òfò orí mọ́ ń tòótọ́ ta lọ́rùn lọ́bẹ̀ ṣé àmọ̀tẹ́kùn lọ́rùn ni àbọ̀lọ́pàá lù àbí sójà ìjọba àpapọ̀ àbí Oyo State ní sójà àti tiẹ̀ ní tí mo fi láròjinlẹ̀ òótọ́ nù iléeṣẹ́ kan wà tí wọ́n ń pè ní Maxa àwọn yìí wọ́n ń yàwòrán gbogbo àgbáyé pẹ̀lú satellite lójoojúmọ́, gbogbo àgbáyé pátápátá náà ń yàwòrán rẹ̀. Ẹ nídìí láti lọ ra bàálù kẹ́ tó mọ àwòrán tẹ̀ ń wá káàkiri. Bí ẹ bá sanwó díẹ̀ fún wọn, kò lè tó bàálù nǹkan tí wọ́n mọ̀ san lọ́dọọdún.
Speaking on the vision and mission of the Social Democratic Party, Agboola outlined the kind of leadership he believes the party would provide, stressing the need for responsible governance, accountability, and policies that put the interest of the people first.
Reform of Nigeria is one of the greatest agenda of SDP. We want this country to be on the surest footing. We want this country to be in the Committee of Nations, competing with the brightest minds ever. The extent to which we have allowed kakistocracy to continue in this country needs to stop. You know, we shouldn't let the people that are least amongst us continue to lead us. We should look for our bright minds to come forth. We should look for our first-class students to join the party and be the ones in office, directing our path. Look at Singapore, for example. The moment you get first class, they don't let you leave the country, mostly, because they need your brains. Whatever you did to achieve a first class is what they employ. And they employ it to the benefit of the general populace, not just individuals. So we will say that the vision and mission of SDP is first and foremost to reform Nigeria and provide astute leadership that is centered in meritocracy, that is centered in people-oriented type of governance, that is concerned with the welfare of every individual in the country, and in Oyo State particularly.
As the 2027 election draws closer, the SDP candidate also had a message for the electorate. He urged Nigerians not to allow temporary financial inducement to determine their choices at the polls, warning that accepting money during an election could amount to sacrificing the future for immediate gains. He urged Nigerians not to allow temporary financial inducement to determine their choices at the polls, warning that accepting money during elections could amount to sacrificing the future for immediate gains.
Voters, you have the power. The power is in your thumb. When you press your thumb against the ballot paper on the day that the INEC has allowed, you are in essence suggesting to the whole world that this is where you want the future to be. Now I'm encouraging you to think very deeply. Think is the first thing I'll ask you to do. Are you truly going to be voting who you believe is going to be leading this country in the right path? Or, like some say, the stomach infrastructure is going to determine where you place your thumb? I will ask you to think again, because now most of the people who are able to vote will be voting either for their own future or the future of their own children. Even if you don't like yourself, please think that whatever action you take on that election day is going to influence both your life and those of your children.
Agboola called on voters to look beyond election day inducements and assess candidates based on their competence, character, programs, and capacity to deliver good governance. With political activities intensifying ahead of the 2027 elections, issues of leadership, security, accountability, qualifications, and voter responsibility are expected to remain central to the national conversation. Victoria Wilson, Willis World Television News.